A new report by the All-Party Parliamentary Groups for Africa, APG, shows that Africans are twice likely to be refused UK visas than applicants from any other part of the world. The study says the UK immigration system is biased or even discriminating against Africans and is not currently fit for purpose. It presents multiple challenges, including the need to travel long distances to apply for a visa, financial discrimination, and no right of appeal. Lawmaker Chi Onwurah, chair of the APPG for Africa, says at a time when the UK needs to be open for business, the broken visa system is doing severe damage to UK-Africa relations across a variety of sectors. End of quote. We have immigration lawyer in the UK, Mr. Dayo Fadino, joining us on the program now. Mr. Fadino, thank you for being with us on Network Africa. What comes to mind when you look at this report that Africans are twice likely to be refused UK visas than applicants from any other part of the world?
Oh, good afternoon. Indeed, this report has not actually come as a surprise to me because this issues and matters I've been dealing with for the last 15, 20 years. So it's not news at all. Indeed, it's the case that many countries from Africa, many people coming from Africa will make applications for leave to enter as visitors to the UK. It's the case that the majority of them are normally refused. And what then happens is when they are refused, the huge amount of money paid for the application will not be refunded. They will not be given any right of appeal. They will be made to understand the fact, and sometimes they give reasons. They don't normally give good reasons as to why these applications have been refused. It's a common place and common trend, happening within the Home Office and even within the UK when people also make applications within the UK. So this is not particularly strange to me.
But I think the real question is why the UK does this. Because they want to appear that they have a good relationship with Africa. I mean, the Prime Minister Theresa May was here last year. We've had the Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt here. We've also had a few other high-profile visits to Nigeria and to the rest of Africa. How does this look in light of all of this, this efforts to portray a closer relationship between the UK and African countries?
It's one thing for people to actually spread the message that the UK is open for business as far as African countries are concerned. But I think the real test is when to put it into practice, really. At least over the last 3-4 years, well over about in between 28 to 30% of visa applications coming from the majority of African countries were refused, compared to possibly about 11-12% when we actually compare that very particular percentage to the rest of the world. In the US alone, the US visiting visas, only about 4% are normally refused. In Australia, Canada, New Zealand, what happens is the majority of the applications to do with visiting visas and so many other visas are granted. So honestly, Britain open for business of that global Britain brand being promoted all over the world is particularly empty and not meaningful at all, as far as I'm concerned.
How should African countries react to this? I mean, their governments should be worried. Their citizens are being affected by this. People want to travel to the UK for legitimate reasons. I mean, people are there to study, some have jobs there, some are living there, and so on. How should the governments in Africa react to this, to a report like this?
I would advise the government, the African governments, and possibly the High Commissions and the embassies all over the world to at least protest very heavily against this and make the UK understand the fact that, you see, if they need to come and do business here, or they need to come and do anything here, to study or to do anything here, and they keep on refusing visas of such African nationals. Honestly, the African countries should make them understand that we could also be doing the same to their own nationals too. Because at the end of the day, you cannot be telling the whole world that you're open for business and that you want different nationalities to come to your country to study or to come to visit, and you don't particularly stick to the agreements or to the arrangements you made with many of these African countries. It's not particularly a nice thing at all, quite matriarch actually, and not of a good taste at all. One other thing I think should also be happening is most of these people are normally being refused, cannot apply, cannot actually appeal against this decision. But what they could do, really, if they feel that they've been treated unfairly and not the application has not been properly treated well, they should at least seek the possibility of applying for judicial review of most of these applications. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So much to say and so much to talk about this. I guess this is not the end of the conversation. Thanks again for joining us on Network Africa.
Well, thank you very much.
Still watching the program, still ahead. US music superstar Beyonce reveals a list of African stars featuring in her new album. Please stay with us.